What's happening, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome back to Dragon Age the Veilguard. I got my coffee. I'm ready to investigate what's going on here in the Lighthouse. I believe this place is called. Yeah, it is. It says right there. So Varric is all wrapped up, and he's out of the fight for a while. Neve didn't get away clean either. She's pretty banged up. Yeah, she went through it with us. That means Harden would have been banged up too if she hadn't have stayed behind to hold. Whoever comes with you there gets beat up pretty bad.
I wish I could be out there with you, Rook. Just be careful, all right?
I'll try. You heal up. I don't like the way that leg looks either. Did you hurt all that by falling down the steps? Right, let's see what the lighthouse is. I'm assuming this is something inside the Fade. Miscellaneous. Introduction to the Lighthouse. Once, the Lighthouse was a place of learning, with tools to study the secret workings of great magic. When Solus rebelled against those who call themselves our gods, the Lighthouse became his center of operations, with tools to study the best ways to free ourselves from the tyranny of the Evanurus. You are safe here, both those of flesh and those of Fade. Any who wish to help are welcome. The magic of the Lighthouse will provide for your needs, see to your comfort, and even help you understand different tongues. For those who escaped here from distant parts of the Empire, should you have any other needs, ask for the slow arrow, and I will help. Alasan. A letter dated 6 months ago. Warden Thorn. If our calculations are correct, and none of us have gone astray, this letter should be at the inn where you and Varric are to meet Scout Harden. As with Varric, we've worked with her before. She's a good scout and a good shot. We think you'll like her. Please tell her we say hello. Anyway, to the point. It's probably best you've gone to work with Varric a while. Our superiors and the wardens can't deny that the village is safe and the darkspawn stopped, but they are still not especially pleased with you, or your methods, or the people who helped with your plan. Evka and I have been given a somewhat remote assignment that no one else wanted, but we are no strangers to that. We've enclosed a list of addresses where you are most likely to reach us for the next few months, should you need. Finally, do not feel you are in exile. We know something of what Varric is after. When the world needs protection from malevolent forces, that's what Grey Wardens do. You're in the right place. Be vigilant and stay safe. Your friends, Antoine and Evka. So, he's not wrong. It is kind of a warden's duty to do all this. It's like I always quote from Blackwall. What can one Grey Warden do? Save the fucking world if pressed. The Shadow Dragons. On Tevinter Templars. When one mentions the Templar Order, you no doubt picture the armored members of the Southern Chantry. These Templars are trained to combat uncontrolled magic, blood magic, and abominations with the goal of protecting people, including mages themselves, from the most violent manifestations of magical power. However, they also embody the Southern Chantry's control over mages and enforce many of its strict rules and regulations over magic in general. In addition to combat training, these Templars ingest lyrium. This mineral, usually used by mages for enchantments and rituals, grants Templars the ability to resist and dispel magic. The fact that it is also addictive, chaining them to the Chantry and resulting in paranoia, obsession, and ultimately dementia, is often swept under the rug. Yes, we've all heard all about that dirty little secret. As you may have surmised by my use of Southern Chantry, this is not the case in the Tevinter Imperium. In Tevinter, we know that magic can only serve if it is allowed to flourish. We do not suppress talent, we nurture it. That is not to say that we ignore the dangers of magic and what it might allow those with violent intent if not combated. As in the South, our Templars are trained to prevent the excesses of blood magic and to subdue demons as well as those inflicted by possession. Unless it's a Magister or anybody in the Imperium, then they're allowed to do as they please and kill people with spotlights from towers and shoot blood magic around the city like we saw in the intro. They're trying to fluff it up here, but the Imperium is a slave-ridden shithole. But our Templars do not take lyrium. They do not enforce unnecessary regulations. They are not given power over mages, but follow the lead of our most esteemed magisterium. They serve the Chantry and the people of the Imperium. I must admit, I rather prefer our way of doing things. That's because this is written by a mage. From a letter written by Lythesia Pallas, living in a border town in the Tevinter Imperium, to a cousin in Olay, 915 Dragon. Okay. So we'll mess with the different codexes, like I've done in all the other stuff. I'll probably make unique codex entries, I imagine, would be the best bet to do that. I'll make it its own episode, so you all don't have to listen to the codex if you're not interested, but if you are, then it'll have its own little section, so you can click on it if you like that kind of stuff, because I do like to read the codex pages, so. I will probably read everything, but I'll make them their own episode like I did with Dragon Age Origins, that way. If you're not interested, you don't have to deal with it. This is our little companion round table. Yeah, we're definitely still in the crossroads. Or some part of the Fade. This doesn't look like the crossroads from what I know of it from the other games.
You're awake. And we're...
in the Fade.
Doesn't look like the crossroads from Origins or from Inquisition.
Dream, but dwarves don't dream. And somehow I'm here.
Yeah, it's unreal. Neve thought we should talk about what to do next.
We should. But maybe look around a little. We might be here a while.
I will definitely do that. Oh, we leveled up. Let's take a look at this. Oh boy, there's a lot here. That is a lot of skill nodes. We have 3 points available too. I'm assuming we have to start in the middle. Warrior code. We already have this. Charged attack. Hold that. Do that or hit Q, and those are the charged attacks. The sprint attack is tap. Shift while moving and then tap. Or Q. Jump attack while airborne. Okay. We have counter blow already too. How does that work exactly when gold? Oh, okay. You have to press it. I see. I think I was messing up with this. Oh no, we don't have that yet. That's what that is. Oh, I never did that yet. We don't have it. We do have this. We have a shield volley. Press Q and then shift and tap on return. When you toss it, when you get it back, you press shift and forward and it does it again. 3 times. Well, we're definitely getting the counter blow. This is a passive. Jump attacks guarantee critical hits if the target is knocked down. Gain precision after a successful perfect defense. Yep. We'll be snagging that. Rage takes 50% longer to begin to decay. Tumbling blades. When you roll in and then you can attack. We'll get the roll attack. So this is weapons. That's the champion spec that goes towards. Survival, Mornwatch, abilities, Lords of Fortune. Reaper is up there. His abilities. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think this will be fun. We can refund points anytime too to mess with a build. I'm a big appreciator of that actually. That is not unappreciated. Look at this place. We planned a rebellion here once. Said we'd change the future of the elves, throw off tyrants, and we did. Now the path outside is fractured. It'll be hard rekindling all the Illuvians. Solus, if you see this, I'll be looking for you. Out in this world, and in the mortal one. Don't cause too much trouble before I get there. So at the end of Inquisition, Solus did something to Mythal. It seemed like he absorbed her essence, but I guess we don't actually know that for a fact. And then, obviously at the end of Inquisition's DLCs, crafting. At the end of Inquisition's DLCs, that's when he tried to overthrow everything, and there was a Canary plot. There was a lot of things going on there. Enter the library passage. 3 pairings must meet face to face. They all need to look at each other.
Must be 2 more.
Indeed. Nothing too complex. Guessing you need to stare across the way. Yeah, I actually greatly appreciate the fact that you can respec anytime you want. I feel like everything should just be like that. Content marked with a timer will eventually expire as you progress. Ah, I see you. They gotta stare at each other, I'm sure. They have to stare longingly into each other's eyes.
Wisps. Figures are in the Fate, but I swear they're following me.
You alright?
Strange place you've fallen into, but I'll work with it. You know me.
Do I?
I know Varric wanted you for the job. You know the same about me.
I made a call that got you injured right after we met.
I'll be fine. You trusted me for the job, and I delivered. That's what counts.
She also quite literally asked to be the one to
You
go.
can trust me again.
That's not our problem. She literally asked. She wanted to be a part of this. Let's see what kind of flirtation we got here. Let's hope things go smoother.
Alright. But I still wish we had a smoother start.
So much for first impressions.
Here's hoping I'm better on the second.
Well, you're not bad so far.
You take a lot of notes. What about?
Lately, what we know, or knew, before Solus changed the game.
And it's...
Not much. I'm sure Lace would hate to hear that, but one step at a time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure this out. I'm sure of it.
Really? Do you know something I don't?
I know we don't have a choice.
Just... Well, we have to, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the job.
People tend to do things they have no choice but to do. It's usually how that goes. Ooh, we got a chance to chit-chat to Neve. Okay. Almost fell off the map right there. I didn't even see that. That was not deliberate. Blacksmith tools.
That's the second. One more to go.
The jumping is a little strange. Not in a bad way, but it kind of like locks on. I don't know if you can tell. It feels a tad clunky. Alright, so I gotta keep my eye out for like hidden stuff too. I'll hold the truck on that then. Alright, that's what we need to mess with, but... Loot brain. And that opens, so we'll go in there in a sec. Want to make sure that we're not missing anything. If there's minerals and things like that laying around, then I imagine that also means that we're looking at some kind of crafting system in this game. Notes on the caretaker. This note has a smear of paint on one corner. Have they always been here? There are beings in the crossroads unknown even to the wise, though the most ancient ones make any domain their own. Certainly, this caretaker belongs here now. I wonder what we look like to them. Need is a scaffold, and the needs of the living ever rise and fall upon it. Hunger, thirst, sleep. Imagine the constant cacophony to one sensitive to such things? Or am I too simple? Wants are fleeting, needs have deeper roots. Perhaps that's why I find this particular spirit's presence both comforting and disconcerting. The prospect that our heart's desire and our truest need could differ, or are even at odds, is hard to contemplate. It is quite the philosophical dilemma, especially when something you want goes against something you, or whatever that thing is, suspects that you need, and so it just does it against your will because it knows you, or thinks it knows you. Smooth pebble and some imperial weave. There's some hidden goodies. Painted pot. So valuable items are probably just trash items that are sellables. You need to spin yonder. There we go.
That did something.
I saw optional talk to Harding, but I never found Harding. Where is Scout Harding? Barrack. Table. Neve. Yeah, I didn't see Hardin anywhere. Maybe she's up there. You up here, Hardin? She is, okay. Yeah, we're definitely gonna talk to her before we progress the main story. Not planning on missing out on dialogue.
It wasn't supposed to go this way. What do we do now? What do we do?
Harding?
Oh, hey, Rook. How's it going?
Ever seen a place like this?
Did you ever find places like this chasing Solus with Varric?
Not exactly. But with Solus, it was always about the Fade, or the Veil, or some other in-between place. Varric always hated it, though. At least this place feels different. Maybe safer?
Harding, are you doing alright?
I don't know. Are you? Is anyone?
Someone's gotta be for the rest of us.
Doesn't matter how I'm doing. What are we gonna do about this mess? We were going to go back through the Illuvian, right? Let's start with that. As soon as we can.
You know, you can take some time to just...
Now you sound like Varric. Varric and I started this. And I can't stop. Not now. Don't ask me to. So, come get me when you're ready to go. Alright?
If we're in the Fade and Solus is trapped in the Fade, couldn't he technically be here right now? Just, like, lingering around? Couldn't he be interacting with us? In, like, well, I was gonna say in body, but I suppose it would be more like in spirit, right? But I'm pretty sure, since he said he's stuck in the Fade, that is possible that he could be here. Means he's probably choosing not to be. Which is smart for him, I guess. Wouldn't have kind words.
So, we stopped the ritual.
And Varric paid the price.
Hey. Varric made his choice to go talk with Solus. He knew the risks. We all did.
And now Solus is gone. And we're here. Wherever here is. Besides in the Fade.
Solus called it the Lighthouse.
He did? When?
Sorry. It was while I was unconscious. Solus appeared in my dream.
No reason to be antagonistic with our
Glad
team.
you're all right.
From what I saw, he's trapped in the Fade now. Not here, but some kind of prison.
You're sure that wasn't just a dream? It's a reasonable reaction.
Solus can speak with people in their dreams, even kill them.
He said our connection wasn't strong enough for him to do that. He could only reach me because I bled at the ritual site when I got banged up.
So Solus is using blood magic, like any normal mage would to play with your mind.
But he's not a normal mage, like I told you. He's an elven god.
Putting together a nice ritual doesn't make him a god.
That's true. He's not a god. Neither are the other ones. The Evanuris, none of them are gods. They're all just mages like the Imperium, at least to my understanding. They're powerful mages and they have a lot of force behind them. They wanted to become gods, but in the end, ultimately, they're not. The same as Solus. He's not the god of mischief. He's an elf. Of course he's not.
We all know he's not a god, but it's faster than saying ancient elven mage every time we talk about him.
All right, well, we've stopped the ritual and there doesn't seem to be an immediate danger. For now. You're certain Solus can't use blood magic to affect your mind?
I'm not certain of anything. But we're not out of danger.
I'm sure he can use blood magic.
Solus had 2 of the other elven gods imprisoned. When he got trapped, they escaped.
So those things we saw come out of the Fade when the ritual went wild, those are...
Elganan and Gillenane. 2 of the ancient elven gods that Solus rebelled against. Solus warned me about them being evil, which is pretty rich coming from the guy who just tried to tear down the veil.
You don't believe him?
No, that's the problem. I do believe him. He said they were horrific tyrants.
Tyrants so powerful, elven history remembers them as gods.
Solus says Elganan and Gillenane drew on the Blight for power and became corrupted. That was when he imprisoned them.
So instead of one god running around, we have 2.
Like I said, they're all just mages, practicing blood
We need to
magic.
get out there and stop them.
Just like that. We're down a man without Varric. We can't just rush in.
I know you're hurt, Neve, but the rest of us need to do something.
I'll be ready to fight when it's time, but we need to investigate, then figure out what we're dealing with.
And how many more people will get hurt, get killed, while we spend time investigating?
And Nev's right. We can't just run off half-cocked just because we're emotional about the situation. We've got to get this shit under wraps. And like I was saying, they're not actually gods. When it all boils down to brass tacks, they're all just jumped-up mages that are thirsty for power. They drew on the blight, others draw on blood. It's all the same thing. Demons, monsters, it's all power and energy to them, which is why you have to use a very delicate touch and think objectively about the mage issue in general. There's a lot of problems here. It's all well and good to say mages should just live completely free with no oversight at all, but then when the little kid in the village gets bullied, didn't learn anything, doesn't know what's happening, and then gets possessed by an abomination and all 10,000 villagers get slaughtered because somebody threw a fish at her, you have to look at things a little differently. Alas, Nev's right.
If Elganan and Gillenane are worse than Solus, we can't go in blind. We need to know what they can do and what they want.
But we only have Solus's word about all of this.
Then let's go investigate for ourselves. We find out what we're dealing with, and then we take our shot.
Fine. The Illuvian led us here instead of back to Minrathous.
Let's hope it goes back to the ritual site. Maybe we can find some clues at the scene of the crime.
Neve, are you okay to go?
It's a headache. I've worked with worse.
All right then. Let's get back to the ritual site.
The Illuvian has its own special room. It's just down the stairs.
I think it might be a little more than a headache, but I appreciate the tough nature. Now I think those 2 little archways we can see right here, those are blocked off by tree roots, right? Correct. I'm sure they open at some point. I also think we just broke a chair, but we won't mind the furniture yet. The Dread Wolf's Alluvion. Most of us have only traveled through the Alluvions at the whims of those who called themselves our gods. We know them as mirrors that always go from one to another, a bonded pair linked no matter the distance. Solus has outsmarted the so-called gods. If we used normal Alluvions, they could track us to our lair. Solus has improved upon June's work by creating a mirror whose singing stone can change its tune to take us to any Alluvion and not just its bonded partner. Thus, we can travel wherever this rebellion needs us, with no fear of pursuit. Travel is as safe as a normal Alluvion. If you have questions, ask for the slow arrow, and I will guide you, Felasan. I guess we're heading through.
For all we know, there's a dozen demons waiting on the other side of that alluvion.
If it even takes us back to Arlethan.
Neve, you sure you're up for this?
Don't worry about me.
Yeah, how would we even know where this thing's attuned to?
Shall we?
Let's do this.
From a big speech about not going anywhere half-cocked, and we just dive through the mirror without knowing where it goes.
It's quiet. Well, isn't that a surprise?
There's the ritual site. But if the gods really did get out, they're not here anymore.
Right, let's take a look around and see if we can find...
Try harder.
It's not working! I can't contain it!
Just break the thing. There you go. Common sense. Mages playing with things they can't control. Would you look at that?
Strife? Irlin? It's me, Lise Harding.
Harding? What are you doing back in Arlethan?
It's complicated.
I can see that.
Rook, Neve, this is Strife and Irlin. Varric and I met them when we first started hunting down Solus. They're veil jumpers, experts in ancient elven magic.
Hardly experts. I should have been able to shut that artifact down. I'm sorry, Tarith.
It's not your fault. Since the sky ripped open, the magic's been surging. Bunch of artifacts that had been dormant for centuries started coming alive. This is because of Finn Harel's... Solus's ritual, isn't it? You all were supposed to stop him.
We found Solus, and stopped his ritual. But things took a turn.
The magic went wild. Solus was dragged into the Fade, into some kind of prison.
But when he went in, something, or someone else got out.
Elganon and Gillenane. Supposedly.
Mathalanost.
The return of our gods, the Evanurus.
If those two are back out in the world, it explains a lot.
Like what?
Artifacts that have been dormant for centuries are awakening. Something that would need a source of tremendous magical energy, like two of our old gods.
Anything you can tell us about these gods?
Solus might be a bastard, but compared to the Evanurus, Let's just say they weren't known for being kind rulers.
They were all
There's
slavers.
a reason Solus led a rebellion against the Vanirus, and a reason he imprisoned them.
But now they've escaped.
Tareth is in bad shape. We need to get him back to the camp.
We've still got dozens of veil jumpers unaccounted for.
How can we help?
We need to find Belara Lute. She's the best there is at working with our ancient artifacts.
And also at blowing them up.
She was off looking for another artifact before this ritual shook everything loose. If anyone can get a handle on all this wild magic and the artifacts it's setting off, it'll be her.
Right. You get your friend back to your camp and... we'll find Belara.
Is this gonna send her back?
Neve, I need you to stay with Strife and Irilyn, alright?
I'm fine.
You're the
Clearly.
best detective in Minrathous. You can help the Veil Jumpers here. If trouble shows up, they could use your skills.
Fair enough.
We'll meet you back at the Veil Jumper camp. It's just south of here.
Belara's out near some elven ruins to the west. At least she was 3 days ago. I'd start your search there.
Good luck, Rook. And thank you.
Like I said, I appreciate her being tough and that she wants to help and all that, but getting herself killed isn't going to help much. She can take it easy. We can give her whatever justification we need to about how she's helping them in case of trouble, but we're putting her on the bench, and that's the right decision. She shouldn't have probably even come through the door.
Is it me? Or is there something strange about this fog?
You never take time
It
to
all
heal.
feels a little
You never
off.
heal.
Like everything shifted a little bit.
Alrighty, now that we're in a brand new location, this is probably a perfect place to split the episode. So, thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, there is a tip link in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Dragon Age the Veilguard. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.